What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your economic news report for Saturday, September 17th. So yesterday we got some pretty important news, and something surprising happened yesterday on Friday, September 16th, and that is that FedEx stock plummeted by 21% due to their revenue coming in $500 million below company expectations for the quarter. Now, this was shocking enough, but it was what their CEO had to say that has me somewhat surprised. And FedEx CEO had this to say. He said that he expects the economy to enter into a worldwide recession. Let's talk about that for a second. A worldwide recession, what does this mean? First off, it's nothing good. When the United States goes into a recession, that's a problem. When China is going into a recession, that's a problem. When Europe is going into a recession, again, it's a problem. When we have a worldwide recession, what is that going to do to companies? For one, it's going to hurt. They're going to have to lay off employees so that they remain profitable. When companies do this and they lay off employees, guess what happens then? The employees cannot pay for necessities like food, shelter, water, medications. This is going to hurt the entire world. Now, why does the FedEx CEO, why does he believe that we are headed for a worldwide recession? Well, he says a lot of what is happening here in the United States stems from China's lockdowns. Now, I've addressed this before and I will address it again. China currently has something, it's called a zero COVID policy. And the problem is that China isn't transitioning away from their policy, which means that anytime they have positive cases and they temporarily lock down, the issue there is when manufacturing completely shuts down, when cities shut down. When we saw what Shanghai shut down for about 2 months. They were in a lockdown for about 2 months. Guess what? That is when the supply chain disruptions started to increase. We got even more. Well, we're still not over that. It takes time. So what I can tell you right now is that China not transitioning away from their zero COVID policy is not just going to impact China, it's going to impact the entire world. Now, for companies like FedEx and UPS, you would assume they're on the same trajectory. Well, that's not the case. They're actually on different paths, but it's the same issue. It is the exact same issue. Now, even though, and again, this is where things are so frustrating, is you read your news reports, and a lot of times you see these different reports and articles and interviews. They go and talk about a specific set of surveys. They don't give you the whole picture. One of the things that I try to do is I try to be open and honest and be very transparent and let you know what's going on both sides. Now, here's what's happening. Okay, and I wanna break this down, but let me just tell you what is being said by many news outlets. Okay, by mainstream media. They say that the U.S. consumer sentiment rose in September, and it did. Now, the sentiment, it rose from like 58.3 up to 59.5, right? So it rose. That wasn't a lie. But it didn't rise enough to reach expectations. That's the problem. So one of the issues, and this just drives me insane, but when certain media outlets will just give you a small little fact, and they don't go into more details. Now, the consumer sentiment, it rose. It did rise in September. It didn't rise to expectations, which is the problem. But part of these increases in the consumer sentiment were actually due to temporary benefits. Let's address that because, again, this is where things are headed. For example, what were some of the temporary benefits that passed or that happened in August, right? Well, For instance, we had student loan forgiveness. This is a big one. However, it's a one-time benefit. This is a one-time benefit. The other problem is, by providing this one-time benefit of up to $10,000 in student loan forgiveness, or up to $20,000 if you receive Pell Grants, the issue there is this is expected to add more upward pressure to inflation. So it's a little bit of a problem, but again, it's a temporary benefit. And this did help with the consumer sentiment, because now people have more money, so they can spend more. But again, you spend more money means inflation is probably going to go up. And then you factor in that, yeah, China still is going through lockdowns, right? And if China is going through lockdowns, manufacturing is slowed or stopped completely. That means there's less products. There's less products, but more money. That means demand is going to probably be higher. Supply is going to still be the same, if not lower, which means prices are going to go up. Again, major problems. Now, another thing that provided temporary benefits, this is something that I've addressed over the past few months as well, is the release of millions of barrels of oil every single day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Now, come November, the United States will not be releasing any additional barrels of oil. They'll be done. And instead, they're going to be buying to start at least 60 million barrels of oil to restock the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. And this is going to happen at roughly $80 per barrel. That's at least what the White House has told us so far. But once this starts, gas prices are going to go back up, because not only are we having less oil on the market, right? Because we're not going to be pulling any barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, but instead we're going to see the government buy back oil, which is going to pull it out of the market. Do you see why this is an issue? And again, this was a temporary benefit. Then we still have our issues with our supply chain. Now, if things weren't bad enough, okay, with China, with shipping, with manufacturing, well, now we have the potential issue with the railroads, because the railroads are currently going through a labor agreement or labor dispute, which on Thursday, the White House came out and President Biden came out and said that yes, there was an agreement, it was done, it was a good deal, right? It's going to help the economy, help out the American people. Well, there's still a chance that the railroads are going to vote down this tentative agreement. And if they do, this is going to hurt our supply chains even more. Now, if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, make sure you go and watch this video right here, where Biden screwed up because he told us that the deal was done. However, that deal is not done. The deal has to be voted on. And as of right now, according to multiple people that I have talked to, I've probably just over the past 3 days, I have seriously talked to through email, on the phone, through Messenger. I've probably talked to 20 or 30 different people, and I say over 95% of those people, I think I've only had 1 or 2 people tell me that they are going to accept the deal. They would vote to accept the deal. The others have said no, this is not good enough, and they want additional benefits. They want more days off. They want a larger pay increase, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on here. We're going to see what happens. But again, when FedEx is telling us that they see a worldwide recession, they're predicting the economic collapse of the United States. That's what they're telling us. Now, I just want to come on here and tell you that things are fairly bad, but at the same time, as long as we prepare, as long as we get ready, we should be okay. And when I say prepare, I'm talking about having food in your pantry, talking about having water as a backup, talking about having things to stay warm in case we do see electricity either spike in price, which it already has, or what if our electrical grid goes down? What if we don't have any electricity? How will we stay warm? The last thing I always recommend is make sure you're cutting costs, lower your monthly expenses, and increase your income. Those are two things that I highly recommend. They will always help you out. So again, that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.